Hi y'all, Kraken Latte here. It's that time again where I bring you my tips, facts, or experience that you may or may not find helpful. Last week I covered two related topics: how to get the Lorewalker's rep to Exalted in a very short amount of time, and how to use the special Mantid items to farm a Archaeology Battletech mount faster. I mentioned in both those videos that you'd want that information for your alts. This is that video where we combine the knowledge into a delicious alt farming burrito. And of course, if you've not seen those videos, you will want to go watch those after this one, because you'll need to know how to do those two things, or this won't work for you. Those are linked in the description and in a pin below. So, why do you want this on your alts? The quick and dirty answer that you might have put together by now if you saw the previous two videos is that you can level all the way to the current max level with Archaeology. Yeah, you heard me. But by itself, that sounds kind of boring, so let's not focus on the leveling part, because this is what I like to call a multi-farm, my favorite activity in WoW. A multi-farm, by my definition, is when you focus on farming a specific something, but you're also getting multiple other things at the same time, basically for no extra effort. An easy example of this is going into a legacy raid to farm a mount, like Invincible or something. At the same time, you may be getting reputation, transmog, pets, achievements, and gold, depending on the raid. We technically do this all the time. In this case here, let's put together two things that can be fairly bland on their own to create a glorious multi-farm: alt leveling and archaeology grinding. So, be honest, do you have all the mounts, pets, toys, and transmog from Archaeology? Do you have all your alts at the current max level? If you answered no to both those things, or honestly even one, then let's get this set up. First off, choose the alt you want to start this on. Any alt. Class doesn't matter, race doesn't matter, main professions don't matter, except for one, and we'll come back to that. And you can technically start this as soon as level 10, though travel will be far easier if you can fly. Up to you though. With your alt selected, get them all set up as you normally would for leveling. You know, heirlooms, gliders, set your hearth, get bigger bags, check your talents, etc. Whatever you normally do. Also, turn on Legion Chromie time if you're low enough level, and War Mode if you're at least level 20. You'll want Chromie time so that the zones scale up properly on low-level alts, and War Mode will give you extra XP. Also check for Darkmoon Fair or any other active holiday buffs as well, because any XP buffs are going to be great here. Now, let's head to Legion Dalaran. First, go to the Archaeology Trainer and train up to the max level offered. We only need to go up to Legion, so it's up to you if you want higher than that, depending on what you're farming. If you want the current max, the BFA trainer will be who you need to see. Oh, and if you're at least level 45, you can take the quest that the trainer offers if you want. It's not required, though I do recommend you check on Wowhead to see what that quest chain rewards. It could be a mount, a toy, or a pet that you don't have, and those quests rotate every 2 weeks on a 6 or so month rotation, so certainly look into that before you start digging. Otherwise, we need to dig until we get our archaeology to 525 before we can go to Pandaria for the Mantid digs. Legion, in my opinion, is the best way to do so. Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, Draenor, Broken Isles, and Zandalar and Kulturas will all let you start digging right away at Archaeology level 1. But, remember how I said this was a multi-farm? Let's say you want to focus on farming the Kuraji mount. The best way to farm that is with turning in restored artifacts, which will only come from Pandaria and newer expansion Archaeology. So, no vanilla through catazones. Draenor and BFA digs, on the other hand, are spread out all over the place and will have you digging for more than one race at a time. In our case, we want restored artifacts as fast as possible, so that's why we want Legion. It focuses in just one zone with just one racial dig at a time for easy travel and streamlined solves. And 4 of the 5 zones are level 10 friendly, which will not be the case for other expansions. Only Suramar will require level 45, but the zones rotate every 2 weeks with the archaeology quests. So if Suramar is up when you go to do this, you can either wait, level to 45 another way, or choose another alt for the time being. Before you start digging, I also recommend getting an Archaeology add-on to make your life easier. Archae is my favorite. It has menus with solve buttons and status bars, it works with TomTom for waypoints to the next dig site, it has sound cues when you've located a dig spot, and much more. I'm sure you'll love it. Make sure to pick up the one from wago.io, as that seems to be the one that's working as of this video. Link for it is in the description. Once you start digging, it'll likely take you a little less than 2 hours to get from 1 to 525 if you have flying, longer if you don't. During which I got around 70-ish restored artifacts and went from 60 to almost 63. Most of my alts are 50 or 60, so I chose a 60. Now, with Archaeology at 525, it's Pandaria time. Specifically, Lorewalker's rep time. You will absolutely want flying for this, so if you decided to start on a level 10 and you're not 30 yet, keep going with Legion digs or level in other ways if you're impatient, but believe me, you're going to want all those restored artifacts. It sure would be satisfying if you had a few hundred to turn in at once, eh? If you want to know how to hit Exalted with the Lorewalkers in just 20 to 40 minutes, you're going to want my video on the topic. Because before you do any digging in Pandaria, you need the Mantid Artifact Hunter's Kit, which requires Exalted with the Lorewalkers. Don't worry, I promise you it's super easy. Then, watch the sequel video on how to farm the Ultramarine Karaji Battle Tank if you haven't, because I explain exactly how to use the Mantid Artifact Hunter's Kit and what to do with your restored artifacts. And now, with all that knowledge in your head, it's time to farm Mantid digs. Put on a movie or watch your favorite streamer, I stream by the way, Kraken Latte on Twitch, link in description, anyway, or anything else you prefer, because now you're all set up. You can just farm to your heart's content and level at the same time. And don't worry, I didn't forget about that main profession I said you might need. If you are going to turn in restored artifacts for Tolvir relics, then you might consider picking up alchemy on your alt. It's not required by any stretch, but there is a chance at the Vial of Sands recipe for alchemists from the Canopic Jar Solves. That recipe is bind on pickup as well, so it'd be a shame to waste it. It's pretty rare. Other than all that, it's pretty simple from here on out. After you've gone on for a while, maybe you've hit max level, maybe you haven't, you've turned in gobs of restored artifacts and just haven't yet got what you want. So as someone who has a lot of alts and has done a lot of mount farming, I have a strong hunch that each character has a hidden luck stat when it created. So if you're just striking out like ridiculously bad, try another alt. And if you feel like you're going to burn out or the farm is just too daunting, perhaps try setting shorter goals. You can easily use your alt's levels as mini steps. Perhaps do 1 or a few levels a day or week, and then stop doing it on that alt once they hit max level to keep the XP rolling. You could even rotate alts at certain points to keep it interesting, and to build up rested XP. Archaeology does benefit from the rested bonus, but since it takes 10 days to get full rested, it isn't worth waiting for unless you aren't playing much or have enough alts to rotate. And there we have it! If you think I've missed information, or you want to request I do a specific guide, let me know in the comments below. Even if I don't answer you, I just might add your idea to my list. As always, thank you so much for watching, and remember, it's never too latte.